Okay, for demonstration purpose, let me disable my this one to showcase the teleport to showcase the pallet breaking speed. Because most of the time hunters would bring 3-6 trump card and attention, and destructiveness not all hunters will bring. So maybe to demonstrate it better for transitioning, I will use this trade. So AI off. Okay, let's go to my notes. Where's my notes? I forgot. Okay, as usual, we'll go through again. Strong kite zones, strong weak ciphers, trap areas, kiting routes, what is draw for initiative again, and how to hunt again. But today, we have an extra one which is rocket chair, because it's quite important for rocket chair analysis to be done for arms factory, because it's one of the factors that would determine quite highly on your win rate as a hunter, especially when you're able to chair at the stronger chairs. Okay, so let's go through with the strong kite zones first. Okay, now one thing for this map, oh yeah, before let's not go into the topic first. Let's just start overview on the map. Now one thing about this map, right, it is very easily to lose your orientation. Whether you spawn or sometimes you just run without knowing where you're running to. Especially like this, you spawn here, it's very difficult to know where is your spawn location. Okay, so what you want to do is just step up first. Okay, so once you move around, you will know that this is actually sandbag ruins. Yeah, there's sandbag here. Okay, and because this particular place and this with this spot, now there are spawns in these two sides, which sometimes when you just spawn smack in the middle, right, it's quite difficult to tell which side are you at. Okay, so sometimes it's better to just move around first, get a bearing of yourself, check out where is the factory and where is the shack. So this will tell you, at least now you know you are at this factory ruins, okay, or which whatever call out you want to do, okay, but we refer this as factory ruins. Map wise, is semi congested, not like Leo's memory, in which that even though there's obstacles, but most of the obstacles here you can actually put to good use, because most of the obstacles will have a pallet. Okay, and this would greatly help you to know where to transition to or not to run into, okay, which I will cover later. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's start with the strong kite zones. Okay, now strong kite zones are what I call kite zones with high walls, window, and a pallet. Okay, it's a combination of these three factors with at least two of them, but most of the time high walls is a must, because high walls, right, would impede your hunter's vision, okay, in which they would be forced to follow your trail and very hard difficult to mind game you into going to reverse direction. Okay, now factory is one of the strongest kite zone of the map as well as the game, even though they have nerfed it with addition of this palette, which previously was 3 windows. Even then the strength is still way above average. Okay, so as usual, this is the strongest kite zone and I will show you how to utilize it. Okay, of course, being the strongest kite zone doesn't mean you need to necessarily stay in it all the time. Okay, so let's say there are normally one cipher here, typically one cipher here at this spot or inside. If spawn inside is the best, it's the safest one. If spawn outside, you need to be very aware. You need to be very aware in which you need to keep rotating your camera. Okay, but most of the time, hunter would approach from here. Okay, very rarely hunter would come in from the factory or this side, but still, you ought to be careful. Okay, but quite rarely they will come in here. But most of the time, come in here. Now, The moment you get any heartbeat, just get to either of this pallet. If best is can come from this pallet, then you just observe where is our hunter coming from. Okay, then you can loop in this fashion. You can loop here. Now when you loop here, right, it's not necessary for you to straight away run back to here. Okay, you can just stand in this corner, and look where is the red light coming from. Okay, if the red, you see the red light is okay, check out my cursor here, follow my cursor. Okay, if you see the red light is coming from here going towards here, okay, then you can be assured that the hunter will be vaulting the window. Then you can come here again. Once again, come here, check out where the hunter is going. If you see the red light is coming from here, then you can just loop again. Okay, you can loop in this fashion, loop in this direction. Because why? The hunter will be forced to follow your trail. Example, yeah, example. I am the hunter now. I'm the hunter now. You are here. Okay, I follow you, I run. But then I don't see you here. Okay, because sometimes mistakes that the survivors do is that as soon as they come here, while keeping a still a respectable distance, they straight away walk here. Then that would easily, once example you're here, when I reach here and I see your position is here and you walk, I can just bypass and come back here. Then that will force you to walk back into inside. Then we can either, especially at my geisha now, my butterfly is ready, I can just dash over. Okay. On the other hand, if you decide to go back here, I'm forced to follow your trail. You see? Okay, so you can loop this, you can do this loop several times until example, if you are the survivor, the hunter is at around this position, at around this distance. Okay, if the hunter is this distance, you can safely drop. The hunter will most of the time be forced to break. If the hunter is too close at this distance, what you want to do, make a sharp pivot, okay, and then pedal back to drop the pallet, because most of the time hunter at this position will be attacking the pallet. Okay, now if you immediately drop, you're opening yourself to attack free hit because of the pallet hitbox. So what you want to do is that when the hunter in this animation, you see the swing back, then you drop the pallet. Okay, you drop the pallet, then you can run here. Once you drop the pallet, right, once you use this pallet, don't loop here anymore, because if you loop here, you have nothing else to work with. Okay, the closest thing will be requiring you to run over here this distance, and it's quite far, so it's very dangerous. On the other hand, what you want to do once this pallet has been used, okay, you want to exit here. Okay, you exit here, there's two pallets that you can come to. Okay, you can use here, which is closer, depending. You can wait and see the hunter's counterplay. If the hunter breaks the pallet, you can walk, and then for safest you can actually come here. Okay, otherwise you can, if the hunter is too close, okay, example maybe let's say it's a geisha and dash through the pallet, right? Okay, the hunter is too close, you can walk, and then you can come here. Here gives you another 3 pallets to use with. Now these 3 pallets are very strong, okay, which I'll talk later in my transitional area, but now let's just focus on the strong kite zone first. Okay, now there is also a loop of these, which I myself am not too big of a fan, but still nonetheless, if any inexperienced hunter, this can result in an infinite loop. Okay, you can walk that window, run across and walk this window. There's a lot of permutations and combinations to using the factory, and that is why it's so strong. But beware, there's a basement here, so despite being the strongest kite zone, it may sometimes backfire, in which if you get caught, then you'll be basemented. Okay, so that's the first strong kite zone. Let me check the chat if everything's alright. Okay. Okay, so that's the first strongest kite zone. Okay. Let me just check around. If you have any question, just type in the chat. Let me check my Discord. So everything's alright. Yeah. Okay. So that's the first strong kite zone. The second strong kite zone, not necessarily the second strongest, but it's another strong kite zone. I'm torn in between rating this and the other sandbag ruins. But let me go through this, what you call this, factory ruins first. Factory ruins is quite a strong kite zone as well, especially if you know how to enter and transition into it. Transitioning out of it is also fairly easy. Okay, so what you want to do is that you, upon reaching here, if you can enter it from this direction would be the best. Okay, that you can loop these two pallets reliably, just in this fashion, just in this manner. Okay, most of the time, what you want to do is that you can just pass this pallet. Okay, this pallet acts as a toll, entrance. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. So most of the time, if let's say, right, example, if you're entering from here, and the survivor run in already, the hunter is right behind you, they would preemptively attack. Okay, preemptively attack, and that will give you enough time to just run across here. Okay, what you want to do is you run and you just stand here first, watch. Okay, especially you can see the hunter here, just hide, watch, and laugh at him. Okay, and then after a while they will go through again, and they will this time, because they see that you're no longer there, they will just follow your trail, and then as they close by, you can just drop the pallet for easy stun. But I find the easiest to pallet stun is this one, because why? From the imagine if you're a hunter now, the point of view is completely obstructed. You cannot see at all. So therefore, when you run and you just see if too close, pivot back, drop for easy stun, because the hunter now will be just following your trail. Okay, once you stun, you can turn here and further use the space here. Okay, this window, there are few windows that you can use here. This window are both very strong. In which, right, why is strong? Because there's still a respectable distance that a hunter must go through if they want to bypass a window, you see. And during which their vision is completely obstructed, and you can easily just transition out. However, try not to use this window, because this window, right, it sets you up for a trap in which you cannot immediately turn here. That you must make a small turn outwards and then turn over here. Okay, if that happens, example, if I'm a hunter and I see my target run here and they walk over, all I need to do is just position myself here. Okay, they walk, now they're trapped, they're here, they're trapped. Okay, so I can just do this motion, see where they want to do, use my skill when they're ready, and then I just make my move. This action alone will cost you a free hit. Okay, so beware. Likewise, on the other hand, the same cannot be said here. Okay, now it's different from before, because if let's say the survivor walk this window, the survivor has a choice of either running here, running across the pallet, or just loop back. Okay, so this is the difference in determining whether a window is worth vaulting or not. Okay, so this is the second strong kite zone I want to talk about. The other one is sandbag ruins. Now sandbag ruins, I felt personally I felt is the second strongest in terms of workability. Okay, this pallet is rather strong, and this pallet is very strong. Okay, this pallet is very strong. Why is that? Because once you drop, right, you have this huge area to play with. Okay, and you'll be forcing the hunter to break the pallet. Okay, and if hunter breaks the pallet, you have a choice of vaulting the window, this window, or this window, if you have the speed boost. Even if don't have the speed boost, okay, you can just run over here and walk. There's a lot of windows here to work with, and almost all the windows here are viable. In which, right, example, if you're running this direction, you walk here, okay, then you can straight away run back here. Let's look at it from a hunter's perspective. Imagine I am the hunter now, okay, and my butterfly is a survivor. They'll be running and walk immediately. Now I am forced to either take a huge bypass route or walk, in which the vaulting animation is slower. Okay. Now this window, however, is quite dangerous. If you can see that it is rather the area to play with is quite small, and even if you want to play, you can come here, but it sets you yourself up for a cornered position. Okay. So these two windows use with care because they are at the edge of the kite zone and edge of the map. But this window is very good. This window is also very good. Okay, and last one there's this palette that sometimes survivor tends to forget to use. Okay, it's also quite potent, in which you don't look like this here. You don't look like this because this area is too small. Okay. However, what you want to do is you look like this. You can look like this. Okay, the hunter may still able to angle the camera to see if you are camping behind the pallet or not. Okay, so be careful of that. So what you want to do is that if you're looping, right, if it's too close, pivot immediately to the side to avoid the attack, then drop the pallet. Drop the pallet. Okay, you have choice of vaulting here or going to the back here and vault this window. Now personally, I would advise against running here, okay, because from the hunter point of view, okay, if you do that, I will see you able to see you running through here, in which then I can just bypass it like this. Okay, even if it's a pallet stun, even if I'm breaking the pallet. Okay, so what you want to do is that you want to run here, run behind. Okay, you see the path. Hold on. See the path of the butterfly that you cannot see it anymore. This is what you want to do. Break the hunter's vision. Okay, so that's the permutation is as such. Use this window. Use this window and see the hunter what they're doing. Okay, if they are vaulting, you can further continue to vault here and vault here, and you can just really noom away and into here. Okay, if they bypass this window, you can come over to this palette. Okay, now this palette, right, let's compare it. Yeah, compare it to just now the short palette where I say you don't camp at the palette. Now look at this palette is very strategically placed, in which, right, there are barrel and a wall here. Even if I were to position myself here, right, see, I can't see clearly. I don't know whether you're camping at the pallet or you probably already run to the back here. Okay, so it's very hard to see. So that's why I say this palette is really strong. It's really good to use. Okay, so what happens is that even if I place a butterfly here, you can just safely run to the back, already, and that puts me in a very bad position. Even if you were to camp around here, you're still very possible to do because of these boxes. Okay, so what happens is that if I really follow, you drop the pallet, then you can just walk through here, run to the back, and then you come to another pallet. You see, so this area is very viable. Okay, so before I go to the last one, let's check. Is there any? Hey, Oz is here. What's up? Oh, Roblox is here too. Hey. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's talk about the last kite zone, which is a trap. I don't like here at all, which is I call the shack windows, three windows. Three windows because there's three windows. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there's absolutely no pallets here. Okay, of course, one would argue there's an infinite loop. Okay, that you can loop this window. You can, what do you call this? Just keep looping around here. But once again, this will only work in low tiers. Okay, because at mid or higher tier, the hunters would know how to mind game and use the skill accordingly. Even though I say 3 windows, this windows is practically useless. Okay, there's no meaningful way that one can use this window, because even if come from here and you walk, okay, the hunter can just bypass. Even if you want to use it for speed boost, it's not worth it. Okay, what you want to do is that you want to use this window instead. Okay, it at least force the hunter to make a bigger turn or walk the window. Okay, either way, I would still personal preference, I don't like it here. Okay, but if you it works out for you, you can feel free to use the area lah. But for me, I'm not a fan. Okay, so that is a strong kite zones. Let me check my notes. Strong kite zones. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of water. If you guys got any question, can ask me. Okay, let's go on to the next one, which is the strong weak ciphers. Okay, so sometimes in lower tier, right? In lower tier survivors, what they do is that they spawn and they look immediately for the closest highlighted cipher and they rush to it. They rush to it and they decode. Okay, this is normal in lower tier. But what you want to do is that you want to know which are the weak ciphers and which are the strong ciphers. This is particularly very important if you are a decoder or a rescuer or mercenary. Okay, so I will highlight to you now which ciphers are the strong ones, meaning very good for decoder to use. Which cipher is good for the kiter or mercenary to use. Okay, so just by knowing this notion, right, that where are these ciphers, right, we're able to improve your kiting game by 20 to 30%. Okay, so let me show you guys which are the strong ciphers first. Obviously, the factory one is the strongest because it's in the strongest kite zone. Okay, so what you want to do is that the moment you get any heartbeat, just come to this pallet and see where the hunter is coming from. Okay, that's why it is very strong. Now sometimes, as I said earlier, the factory cipher is here. Now if you're here, you need to keep moving your camera at all times. Okay, need to check where is the hunter coming from. The moment you get heartbeat, bail. Don't wait, straight away bail. Okay, likewise you can come to this pallet and just wait for the hunter to commit. Okay, now the next strong kite zone, strong cipher is inside here. Likewise, inside here is also very strong because it's in a strong kite zone. Now the moment you get any heartbeat, straight away come to here. Okay, don't come here. Okay, because why? Some hunter, if they spawn a factory, they're sweeping towards here, right? They would be entering here. So it could be a Reaper, and if you're camped there, then they can straight away do a blind fog. Okay, I sometimes also able to do that, or they may put a people here. If they put a people here, and they will see you right behind the pallet. Okay, then they can do whatever shenanigans they want to do. Whereas if you camp here, even if they place a people there, okay, you are still quite safe, in which there's a distance for you to be away from them. Even if it's a violinist and they place a note, you hear the screeching sound, you can straight away make a move already, no problem. Whereas if you're here, you're way too close to them. Okay, so this is the difference. Small difference, big changes. Okay, you're decoding here, heartbeat, straight away run here. Now on the other hand, this cipher is also okay, but again, you need to be very aware. Especially if the hunter is closing in from in this direction. Okay, it will be quite limiting in your escape path, in which you need to rely heavily on this pallet. I will talk more when I cover the section on how to hunt. Okay, but for now, if let's say you get any heartbeat, right? Angle your camera, try to see where the hunter is coming from. The moment you get heartbeat, try to hug this pallet. Hug this pallet if you can. Otherwise, come here first. Okay, obstruct their view. Okay. Okay, the other strong cipher. Not this one, not this one. This one. Okay, now this cipher is also quite strong in the sense that hunter may approach from this direction, but hunter is very rarely to come into the kite zone. You see, example, right? Example. It's quite rarely to enter the kite zone from this direction because there's no way they can see the cipher. You see, example, yeah, example. If I'm a hunter, okay, I want to sweep towards this cipher. Okay, even if I walk inside, right, I can't see anything. I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. Even up until here only I can see. And by the time I reach here, the decoder has probably like hiding somewhere else already. Okay, even if there's trail, I'll be forced to follow the trail. Okay, so this cipher is pretty good. The moment you get any heartbeat, okay, you can just either run behind here, force the hunter to follow your trail, or you can just walk this window for speed boost and move away, depending on how you want to do it. There's a lot of permutation to this. Okay, however, you need to be very careful for this cipher. Okay, contrary to this sandbag ruins, sandbag cipher is quite out in the open. Okay, of course it gives you good vision on around here, gives you quite good vision. However, if the hunter spawns a factory and is sweeping from here, your vision will be quite limited. And if that happens, okay, the first thing you want to do is to run to this pallet. Run to this pallet, okay, then you can actually try to what you call this hide around here. See where the direction the hunter is coming from. Okay, if you see that the red light is coming from here, okay, what you can do is that you can just position yourself behind first. Okay, position yourself behind. Then the hunter will be forced to either run here or here. Okay, if that happens, you can just rotate accordingly and then use the window here. Or just run around. Use the first pallet first. Okay, this pallet is a very good entrance point to the kite zone. Okay, what you want to do is that you look for a while, drop the pallet, force the hunter to break, then you can easily either come behind or use the window to walk. Okay. Now the problem with this cipher is if the hunter for whatever reason, maybe they spawn at the shack corner, they were sweeping through this shack ruin cipher, and they're coming to you in this direction. If this happens, you have to back trail and go into here, which is quite a distance away. Okay, so that this is why I think this cipher decoder don't take, but maybe if you're a kiter like perfumer, maybe it's still okay-ish. Okay. Let me think. Okay, those are the strong ciphers. Okay, let's recap. This one, sandbag ruins, factory, and the factory ruins. So if you're decoder, try to take these ciphers. Okay. Now let's talk about weak ciphers. This is not weak. Okay, the weak one, obvious one, would be here lah. This one. The one right out in the open, which is I think somewhere around here. Okay, this cipher is obviously weak because it's right out in the open. There's absolutely nothing here if the hunter comes toward you. So sometimes the mistake that lower tier early new players make is that they spawn nearby and they come to this cipher and work on it. And especially with decoder, now don't do this. Okay? Because it's out in the open, hunter can see you easily, and there's no pallets, nothing for you to work with. Okay? However, this is perhaps the best cipher for mercenary because it's right in the open, right in the middle, and you will easily confuse the hunter's tinnitus range. Okay. Also, besides that, because it's in the middle, it gives you very accessible to most area of the map if you need to rescue. Okay. So if you're playing mercenary, you're playing rescuer, your immediate role is to find a central or middle cipher. but at the same time be prepared to kite. Okay, so now I say it's mercenary because mercenary most of the time is not afraid to be the first chase, thanks to elbow pads, thanks to delay damage, and thanks to the 30% rocket share time. Because of these three factors, right, hunters will be very reluctant to first chase a mercenary. Okay, so for some hunters, finding a mercenary first may result in a game loss, depending on the playstyle. But for me personally, it doesn't matter much to me if I find mercenary or not. Okay, so if like even your gravedigger, gravekeeper, your forward, it's still okay to take this cipher. Decoder, absolutely not. Perfumer, maybe if you're ready to kite. Okay. The next cipher is three pallet. I personally don't really like three pallet, despite it being actually very strong. Okay, it's a very strong area, but because you see it's too enclosed, you can't see much from anywhere. Okay, so if you get the heartbeat, the moment you get a heartbeat, okay, you can camp at either pallet, but the problem is you don't know which pallet to camp at because you don't know which direction the hunter is coming from, and you don't know what hunter it is. Okay, so be cautious. It's not that it's a bad cipher, but just have to be very cautious. Okay, so weak ciphers, this one, because it's a weak area, this is also a weak cipher. Okay, why? Hunter can come from this direction if you can see, but if the hunter is coming from here, it's very here. This direction or here, right, is quite obscure. Okay, especially if you're decoding from this position, you see, it's quite difficult. Quite difficult. What you want to do, maybe you can decode from this direction, then maybe, but still not very good. Okay, the problem is the moment you got heartbeat, right, where you want to go? You instinctively want to run to shack because got a pallet. But if the hunter is sweeping from here, it's a bad idea. Okay, that would make you to backpedal into this window. Okay, and even then, I felt it's not very strong, especially if the hunter is here. Okay, you walk the window. If they position themselves there, then you're in trouble. Okay, what you can do then, you go further back into here, and I felt there's not much you can do here. Okay, so I generally try to avoid this cipher and this cipher as well. This cipher is located almost at the edge of the map. Okay, if the hunter is able to come from this, most of the time either this direction or this direction, you will be cornered. You will be cornered, and there's nothing much you can do. Okay, so I generally also will avoid this cipher. Regardless if you're decoder or kiter, just try not to do that. Okay, and then there's a new cipher called the no man's land. We call this a no man's land. Okay, this cipher is also, you need to be very careful and very aware because there's only one pallet here. Albeit it's quite strong. Okay, the moment you get any heartbeat, you can straight away hug the pallet first. But even then, you will open yourself up to mind gaming. Okay, with wire, with sculptor, and the lights. If they come from here, this direction, or shack direction, it's quite dangerous. Okay, so try to be careful. Okay, your best plan is to come to this pallet, but even then, you need to see where the hunter is coming from. Okay, so is there any other ciphers? Middle coward, shack ruins coward. Oh, shack, not shack. Yeah, shack. Okay, sometimes shack. Okay, sometimes shack will have a cipher, right? Have a cipher here. Okay, now shack cipher is as usual I'm not a fan of shack in any map, in any character. Okay, but what you can do is that you can just hug this pallet. Okay. But the thing is, I don't like is that if you get a heartbeat and the hunter sometimes spawns at no man's land, and they may come through inside. Okay. So if you don't know yet, sometimes you may straight away run into them like this. Oh no, the hunter's right here and it's a free hit. Okay. That or you will come here. which is also a bad idea. That's why I'm not a fan of Shack. Okay, so those are the ciphers. Now let's recap. Weak ciphers. Weak ciphers number one. The one outside in the middle, and no man's land, and also sandbags. Okay, if you're a decoder, generally I would advise against taking these ciphers. Okay, instead you can take the strong ciphers, which are factory, factory ruins, the one inside, or sandbag ruins. Okay, okay, so those are the ciphers. Alright, let's check the chat if there's anything. Okay, I'm gonna take another sip of water. Y'all can ask me if there's any question. Okay, so let's look at the next one, which are trap areas or open areas. Okay, trap areas, right, are areas where you generally would want to avoid. If you're spawned at there, get out. If you're kiting, try not to enter this area. Okay, because it puts you in a disadvantage and the hunter can easily corner you. Okay, now the first area, let me talk about it, is the shack corner. Shack corner, which includes these three windows and here, and this particular area. Okay, if you're kiting, there's no reason for you to put yourself, run to the edge of the map and put yourself in a disadvantage. Okay, the fact that here is not a meaningful kiting zone, and here you're cutting yourself away from the middle. Okay, several of reasons to this is that here is you almost can never transition out from this direction. Okay, and this is your only hope of an escape route, which is towards via shack. If shack is already got cut off, you use the pallet and you come here, then it's just a matter of time before you get down. Okay, that's the first reason. Second reason is that this chair is right at the corner of the map and it's very difficult to rescue from. So it would make the rescuer's time give the rescuer a very challenging time to rescue you, especially before half. Okay, so if let's say for whatever reason you're kiting, try not to make this your kiting target. Okay, so example, if you're kiting, you come to the shack, you use this pallet, then you run yourself here, then you're setting yourself up to be downed. Okay, because once you break this pallet is broken, you lock yourself here already. There's nothing much for you to use for anymore. Okay, so try not to do that. Likewise, in continuation, this is an open area. You see, this is an open area with absolutely nothing for you to work with. Okay, so if ever you need to exit this area, don't transition like this. Okay, example. If let's say you somehow for whatever reason you're caught here, okay, you use this pallet or whatever, or you even use this pallet, okay, force hunter to break, then you run in this direction. Don't. Okay, example, yeah, most of the hunter takes 3 to 4 seconds to break the 4 seconds to break a pallet. Okay, let's count. Drop pallet, hunter break. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, you are just right in the middle. And now the hunter will have broken the pallet and can resume chasing you while you're still caught in the middle. Okay, so this is another open area. The next open area is here. It's at this area. Okay, here and here. Okay, so if let's say for some reason you're decoding here, don't run in this faction. Don't do this. or even don't run from that direction, run towards here. You see, it's an open area. Don't make this run. Don't make this run. Okay, you're setting yourself up. Instead, watch out, look out for all these obstacles. There are pallets. There are a lot of pallets in between. Okay, so instead of that, right, you can run towards here, drop the pallet, then you run towards here, then you can use this pallet. Okay, then you can run here, then go to shack, and then you can run here. Now I know it might look like very small difference because you will see that, yeah, what's the difference? I run here versus here. See, the distance is so small. So what's the difference? There's a lot of difference just by the mere fact there are pallets here. Okay, so these things, right, will make your kiting time difference. Okay, so do not look down on this. The next open area that doesn't look like it is here. Is this area. Okay, now this area, right, is a semi-kite zone. Semi-kite zone in which you have only one pallet here and the other pallet. This pallet I wouldn't recommend to use, but this pallet is very good. Okay, now sometimes, right, mistake, right, it happens is that the survivor will drop this pallet, okay, force a hunter to break, then they run in this direction. They run back here. You see, you have nothing to work with, and it takes for you some distance before you can reach this pallet. Okay, so this area, be careful. Unless you have any plans, try to avoid it. Okay, like stack, curse, like football or elbow pads, try to avoid it. It doesn't look like it. Okay, it looks like a peaceful forest, more like peaceful for you to get down easily lah. Okay, so avoid it. The last area, but I don't think anyone with a sane mind will come here lah. But just here, I honestly don't think there's any reason for you to run here, but for whatever thing, don't. Okay, it's right at the corner. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. Okay, but I really don't think there's any survivor that will run here lah. But I thought I'd just highlight to you guys lah. Okay, don't. Okay, so those are the trap areas. Otherwise, it's quite okay. Now compared to Leo's memory, right, the open area in Arms Factory is quite clear cut because when it's open, it's really just open, it's barren space. Compared to Leo's memory, there's a lot of obstacles and congestion in which you might be confused to think that actually there could be something to work with, but actually there's not. Okay. Okay. Let's check the chat. Gardener struggle. Okay, trap areas. Kiting routes. Kiting routes. Okay, now if you recall, right, Leo's memory, there's a kiting route or kiting circle, right, in which you can connect the each of the strong kite zone. For Leo's memory, is even more potent, in which, right, the connection can be made even stronger because the pallets are very close by. Now, before I go into that, let me just explain what are transitional kiting zone, transitional 8 zone. Transitional 8 zones are small areas such as this. Okay, most of the time it's a low wall with a pallet. Okay, these areas are typically good for about 1 to 1.5 loop before you can drop the pallet and then force the hunter to break, then you transition into it. Okay, so this is why I call it transitional 8 zone. Example, you're running here, okay, loop for a while, about 1 loop, okay, drop the pallet, force the hunter to break, and then that would give you sufficient time to safely transition. That is why I call it transitional 8 zone. Example, if I am the hunter, drop, I break, okay, hunter break, take about 4 seconds, okay, break 1, 2, 3, 4, see, safely transition into a kite zone. Okay, now this is the kiting circle. The kiting circle, it can begin at any point. Okay, But let's start from here. Okay, this is a kite zone. As I said earlier, you can loop over there or here. Okay, so how you want to exit here? Okay, if you want to exit here, you need to use this pallet, drop it, force hunter to break. Okay, then you can make yourself here. Now I know the distance is a bit far. Okay, but because there's a lot of vision blockage here. Example here. If you broke, if I break, okay, can only see you up until here. If you just pivot a little bit, and run behind here, then I'll be forced to follow your trail. Okay. Or if you have a window, broken window, you can actually use this window to zoom away. Okay. Then you can come here. Come here. Look at where is the hunter coming from. You have a choice of either coming from here or here. Okay. So if the hunter is still very far, example at this distance, hunter is still here, you can just safely go here. Okay. If the hunter is close, is let's say somewhere around here, then you want to go through here. Okay, go through here, then see where is the hunter coming from, entering. Entering from here will be the best because this is a funnel shape. Okay, this is a funnel shape. Funnel is that if the hunter once in this position, okay, if you drop the pallet, the hunter most of the time will break the pallet because the alternative is the hunter backpedal and make a big turn like this. Okay, most of the time hunter wouldn't do that. Okay, so what you want to do, catch the hunter in this position, drop the pallet, hunter will break, you give you enough time to run into shack. And furthermore, because the direction, the view is heavily obstructed, you will most of the time make it to the shack. Example, you break 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the hunter will need to exit, check your trail, and then only follow you. Okay, which most of the time you can just safely hide behind here already. Okay, you enter the shack. Okay, even then there's a several option for you here. Once you reach this position, check the hunter. If the hunter has broken the pallet and exit, okay, you can run here. Here's a transitional 8 zone. Okay, there's 3 pallets for you to use here. On the other hand, if you have reached this point, you still haven't seen the hunter come out, you can just safely run here. Okay, you run here and you see if the hunter is still at the butterfly position, okay, you can see it, then you can run here. Just wait around, wait for hunter to commit, then you walk. If not, if the hunter is still very far, you can come over to this pallet. Use this pallet, come over to this pallet, then you can use a shack for a little bit. Okay, so if the hunter comes, let's say example you want to use a shack, hunter is at this position, you can safely drop the pallet, but be aware once you drop the pallet, the hunter will definitely break. Okay, if the hunter is too close, like here, run, pivot, bait for the attack, drop, safely drop it. Okay, mind game a little bit. Now once you drop, you need to make yourself towards this area. Likewise, if you exit the shack, you can also come here. Okay, immediately come here. Now most of the time survivors make this mistake. Okay, unless you have broken windows, sometimes I sweep, they drop the pallet, they walk the window, and they run towards 3 pallet instead. You see the distance is quite far. Okay, and there's not much of a view obstruction. There's only this box, so the hunter can actually position himself clear enough. Let's say example. Okay, you drop pallet, I just wait around here first. You walk, and I saw you running, then I can straight away counter you by chasing you, cutting you, bypass it like this. Okay, so playing this as a Robbie, as Jack, I also managed to corner a lot of survivors into this mistake. However, you want to walk, you want to come here. Yes, the distance is closer. Even if I was at this position, okay, now you are very close to a pallet in which you can just play around. I especially love this area is that these two pellets. These two pellets are exceptional. Okay, once you drop these two pellets, you have this huge area to play with. You see, this huge area to play with. Okay, if the hunter is allergic to pellets, you can loop for days here. Okay, you loop, force a hunter to break, make yourself come here to the two containers. Two containers are also very strong, in which the height of the container is just enough to obscure the height of the survivor. A lot of combination here. You can just loop single container, double container, cross, a lot. Okay, but if ever you loop like this, be aware. Okay, because when you loop this direction, the hunter can very easily just do this. Okay, if you drop the pellet, so be aware. Whereas if you loop this direction, it is very viable for you to run past, pivot, come back and drop. So you see, this is a very big difference. Even though it's just a different direction, you see, if you look from here, come here, there's nowhere for you to go. You can't pivot left, right. Okay, this is the difference. So you must be aware how you use this pellet. Likewise here. Okay, this one is not as strong because if you pivot, then the hunter can see from the height of this coil thing. Okay, so how you want to exit here? What is that you can exit here? Either of this pellet. Okay, you can exit into this pellet, or meaning if you're exiting in this direction, okay, you can run to this pellet. If you're exiting in this direction, you can run towards tree pellet. Okay, run towards tree pellet. A tree pellet is a middle of the field. It's what I call the central position, which most of the kite zone, most of the assist kite zone, you can also transition towards it. So example here, although I say you can transition here, which is close, if ever the situation calls, you can also transition towards here. Now what you want to do is that normally the way I do it is that the first pellet I will just pass. Okay, gives mind game the hunter into preemptive attack. Okay, then he will probably attack again just to check position, check. Oh, nothing. Then by the time, right, you are probably already transitioning into factory already. Okay, most of the time I like to use like that. Look around, check the hunter is coming or not. Okay, following my trail, go here, come here. There's a lot of permutation to this. Tree pellet is a very strong transitional 8 zone. Okay, it can be a semi-kite zone at the same time as well, depending on how you use it. Okay, however, if let's say you have to exit, right, be careful not to do this. If you ever have to exit, the best exit plan for tree pellet is you use this pellet and then make yourself towards here. Okay, towards a factory. The worst that you can do is that you exit, drop here, and then you run this direction. You see or not? It's a very open area, which I said earlier. Okay, so don't exit here. The second best exit plan is drop. Okay, then you can run here. Okay, small difference, big changes. Okay. Likewise, I don't think there's any survivor who do this lah. You drop pellet, then you you run straight. I don't think so lah. Okay, so let's go back to the kiting circle. Okay, if let's say you use a double container, go here, then you can even set yourself up for 1 loop to 1.5. And if particularly what you call this double container, you still haven't used a pellet, you can continue back to loop here. You see, that's the beauty of this map. Okay, if the hunter comes too close, pivot, wait for attack, drop, run. As I said earlier, run here. Okay, if you run in this direction, then the hunter can just easily bypass and makes your pellet drop useless. Okay, you can run here. There's a lot of permutation to it. Okay, just be aware of which window to not use. Okay, this window and this window. Use with care. Not that say cannot use, but use with care. Okay, strong windows. This is very strong. This one is also pretty good, depending on your direction. And this one. Okay. Okay, use that. Try to use this palette first if you're entering from there. Okay. And then here. Okay. Use this. You can use this palette if you're entering the kite zone from this palette. This will be your first palette to use. Okay. Now, if you use this palette, do not come back here and attempt to transition here because there's nothing to aid you. Okay. If you have to enter the kite zone from here, exit it either through double containers or through the what do you call this this window. Okay. If you exit this window, there's another palette here. You come to here. Okay. So when you kite, you need to be mindful of the pallets you have used and where is your exit or exit path. Okay. Now exiting this kite zone may be tricky. Okay, despite just now you see we entering it, it's quite easy. Okay, but if you have to, absolutely no choice, drop the pallet, then run here. Oh no, sorry. See, even I make the mistake. Gosh. Okay, run here. Run here. There's another pallet here. Okay, it's not the best because the hunter can just position here and trap you, corner you. Okay, the better one would be force it to come here. Okay, you can when you come here, right? Come here. You loop in this direction. Okay, you loop in this direction because the play area is bigger here. Don't do this. Don't loop here. Don't loop here. It's too small. Okay. But however, that's it. Force a hunt. If the hunter breaks, right, then you want to do is you run this direction. You run here, obscure the view, then they will come here already. Okay. Likewise, of course, that cannot be said if let's say you were forced into looping it this way. If you're looping this way, okay, hunter is here, you drop the pallet and hunter breaks, right? Now it makes no sense if you have to run like this because then the hunter can just bypass. Okay, what you want to do is that you run, make a beeline towards a window. You should be able to reach in time. Okay, then you walk. Okay, you walk, then use this pallet. Use it sparingly. Don't simply waste it. Okay, this loop motion is very strong. Okay, even if they put people, it's still quite viable. And if you have to, you can exit and then use these two areas. These two pallets is also obscenely strong. You drop the pallet. Look at this area, man. Look at this area. You can just easily loop. Okay, wait, force the hunter to break, then you come to this pallet. Likewise, these two is also obscenely strong. Okay, it's a W. You can just drop and then you can just loop around. Okay, force hunter to break. You can come here. This is a funnel. This is a very strong funnel. Okay, look. Okay, that the hunter once you drop the pallet, the hunter must absolutely break the pallet. There's no choice. And it's also a very strong funnel because once you pass it, you can pivot to either direction. Okay, this motion makes it a very good one. But the opposite cannot be said the same. Okay, if you're looping in this direction, then you're setting yourself up for trouble because you see, now you're caught. Okay, so that's the thing about funnel pallets. Be careful, knowing which direction makes a difference. Okay, so what example that you use the factory already, then you use here already, then you come here already. Okay, but I know I say just now use this, right? It's not necessary. It's up to you. You can walk, exit the factory. You can straight away come here, no problem. Okay, come here. Hunter is around this position. Wait for it to commit. Come here, then you can drop safely. Okay, this hunter is this position. You can drop safely because even then, let's say drop, right? Even if you bypass, you can just very safely and comfortably go in this menu. You see? Okay, fine, you don't want to break pallet, never mind, I circle with you lah, no problem. Okay? If the hunter is in position and come to break the pallet, then it gives you very comfortable time to reach these 3 pallets. Okay? Now if you reach these 3 pallets, these 3 pallets may not be the best because you see the play area is quite small only. Okay? So if that happens, you can use this propane tank to obscure your view. Quite a bit, about one loop lah. I think 1 loop is max. Okay, better yet is this one. This one is a bit bigger, but it's a bit cutting too close to the distance here lah, so I don't really like it. But nonetheless, you can still drop, and then you can loop around here. Okay, loop around here. Don't go here, because going here is not the best way lah, not the optimal way lah. What I like to do is that use this pallet. Okay, loop it, force it to break. Example, example. You loop in this direction, loop in this fashion. Okay, hunter is here, you drop, force hunter to break in that direction, then you run here. Okay, maximum view obstruction. Because let's say if you are the hunter, break the pallet, you are look at my camera, yeah. See, you're forced to follow the trail. Okay, come here. Likewise, loop. Make 1 loop. Drop pallet, and you're safely back here. See? That is a kiting circle. For arms factory. Okay, it is very strong. You can start at whichever position, and then you can also at the same time use the 3 pallet as a connection zone, central connection zone. Okay, you can be from this transitional 8 area coming to here. You can use it for transitional 8 from 2 container to come to 3 pallet, and then go into factory, or factory outbound. Oh yeah, this area, sorry. Okay, as I say, the best exit plan for 3 pallet is in such. Okay, then you can use here. Now these 2 pallets is also obscenely strong. Okay, drop 2, you can just loop around, wait, hunter break, then you can straight away make yourself towards the factory already. Likewise, sometimes if you have to exit the factory in this fashion, it's also okay. You can also come here, then use the 3 pallet as a central connection, then run to the two containers, you see. Okay, so that is how that you connect from factory ruins, no man's land, shack, the S pallet, and go into 2 containers, into sandbag ruins. Okay, but as I said, if you're at sandbag, be very careful on how you want to transition into the small factory ruins there. Okay, that is a bit risky. Okay, but once you're able to, you come into this area, then your life is very comfortable. Factory, outside factory, there are so many pallets for you to work with. Okay, so that is the kiting line. Now I say this is much stronger than that of Leo's memory, because if you can see, right, each of the area, the transitional 8 area, they are very closely connected to each other. Okay, as long as you force the hunter to break, you can quite comfortably transition into the next. Okay, force hunter to break, you can transition to the next. Okay, now as you're aware, in the kiting line, I absolutely do not recommend you to come over to this area. Once again, let me stress it again. Don't come here. Okay, because transitioning in and out of this area is very difficult, and you will only have a shack pallet to work with. If shack pallet is broken, then see you next life lah. Okay, exit shack, come here. Okay, so that is the kiting line. So let me check if there's any question. !aiyo! Ya lah, I also don't know how to disable that. Let me take a sip of water. Oh my god, talking for 1 hour now. Okay, what is drop for initiative? What is drop for initiative? Come, let me show you. Drop for initiative is something that you would use during transitional 8 area, in which you drop it earlier, drop the pellets early to force the hunter to break. Once the hunter break, then you can safely transition away. Now let me try to demonstrate this. Control on. Okay, let's force the. Okay. Okay, let's time it to break. Okay, I break 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then you see once the hunter break, right, then you can transition away already. Okay, so that is what I call drop for initiative. You drop it early but safely, then you have the area to break to play with. Okay. So use that example like I said earlier here. Okay. You drop these 2 pellet early. Example is that the hunter is at this position. Okay. You get yourself here. You drop this pellet and then drop this pellet. By the time then the hunter is probably somewhere around here. Now you see, then you can just play around. Okay, if the hunter don't want to break, you can just keep looping. Okay, you can safely walk as well. Okay, then the hunter break, then you can transition away. Okay, so that is the drop for initiative. However, you need to be aware which pellets can be used for initiative, which ones cannot. Okay, for example, this one is small. Okay, even if you were to drop the pellet, you can only have this small little area to play with, and that's very dangerous. Because if you're in this position and then the hunter breaks, then you have not much place to run except for backwards. Okay? So you have to know which pellet to break. On the other hand, if hunter breaks this pellet, okay, you can either transition away or you can still like safely just play around here. Okay, so that's the difference. The other one, yeah, this one. This one is also very bad. This pellet, you see, if it's one of those pellets that is very difficult to use. If you drop it, the hunter can just bypass like this. Okay, makes no meaningful use. Okay. On the other hand, this one is still okay lah, not too bad. And then there's this pellet. Okay, this pellet is also not the best, but it's something to work with. Okay, so let's see. Okay, how to hunt. Okay, now nice. Okay, like I said earlier, the kiting line may be very strong, but as a hunter, it's also important for you to know where are the kiting line and where are the strongest kite zones. Okay, because by that notion alone will help you to corner your survivor. Now let's use this area again. Now imagine if I am the hunter. Now these 2 pellets have been broken. Okay, I know for a fact that the best line possible for the survivor is to run towards here. Okay, run towards here or run towards the 3 pellet. Okay, so if let's say the survivor is right here and it's at this position, at the butterfly position. Okay, if I run here, then I will force the survivor to run here, back here. Correct or not? It's impossible for the survivor to keep running straight. Okay, because example, if drop the pellet at this butterfly position, if they drop the pellet and they run straight on, I can just very easily catch up to them. Okay, so that's why I say most of the time survivor wouldn't do that lah. Okay, now back to this. Okay, if the now I run here, the survivor is at this butterfly position. I break the pellet from here, this direction. Now the survivor is then trapped, cornered within this area to either run into shed or run into the 3 windows. Okay, either which the kite zone is not so strong. Okay, so by this notion alone, you as a hunter needs to know where are the kiting line and where are the strong kite zones. By knowing that and therefore knowing how to cut off the route, you will then corner the survivor into a weaker zone. Okay. So once you come here, then your next plan is to either corner it into the kite zone or here. Okay. So let's just use this area as an example again. If there's a decoder here, okay, they would definitely use this pallet and use this pallet. Example now, okay, they're here, and you are the hunter geisha. They drop the two pallet, okay, and you're in this position. Now they definitely would want to run towards shack. Okay, impossible for them to run here. Impossible. Okay, so what you want to do is that you want to circle it in this direction. Circle in this direction so that you will force your survivor to be here. Correct or not? Be here. Okay, they'll be running here. Then you break the pallet here. Then you break one pallet here first. See what they do. You can break either one. See what they do. If they continue to be there, good. Further continue to corner them. Okay, this motion alone will force your survivor to be in this butterfly position, in which then you see they are cornered. They have either to continue to loop in this area or make a risky transition towards a no man's land. Now let's compare. If you're here, okay, but you loop in this direction, okay. If they're here, you circle in this direction. It gives them enough time and space to run into shack, and then you would be caught in trouble already because they can transition out. You see or not? Once again, yeah. Small difference, big changes. Okay, they're here. I circle here. I cut off their road. I circle here. They can run into shack. Okay, so this is one of the basics in playing hunter. Of course, knowing the hunter skills, knowing the hitbox, they are all important. Knowing how to mind game is all important. But this, I felt, is one of those unspoken generic skills of a hunter. By doing this motion alone, I'm able to corner a lot of my survivor into forcing them to misplay. Okay, so like there, like here, just a very simple thing. Knowing how to circle your survivor, knowing which direction to break the pallet from makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so that is on how to hunt for this map. Okay, I'll take another short break in which then we'll talk about this is a very important topic that I like to talk about that I think almost none of the content creators talk about, which is rocket chairs. I included this in my guide to hunter, and I think it helped quite a bit of my audience as well, especially if you're using Robbie, which you can restful road to your best chair of your selection. Okay, just let me check the chat for a bit. Wow, 11:45. No wonder I'm so tired. Okay, sorry. If the stream is taking too long, I'm so sorry, man. But there's just too many things to cover, and just look at it because you playing as a survivor, playing as a hunter. Yes, you know how to use the skills, etc. is very important. But I really felt knowing each of the maps, pros and cons, would also play into how you're able to play your game very well. Okay, now let's look at rocket chairs. Let's start with the best rocket chairs that I would like. Okay, this rocket chair. There are a few rocket chairs here. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Number one is that it's at the corner of the map. Number two, there's nothing to work with. There's no window, there's no pallet. Okay, and then there's this stupid box may sometimes like force the survivor to get trapped. Okay, doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's hilarious. Number three is that it's very easy to guard. If you decide to play camp, right? If you decide to play camp, it's very easy to guard. In which you can stand either here, that will give you full view if the rescue is coming from here or not, or you can stand here. Okay, you can stand here. Just look at the view, man. Look at the view. You can see almost anything from everywhere, except if running from here. And even if they run from here and you caught a glimpse, right, it's still not too late for you to run back. It's still not too late. Okay, and so what if they're able to reach a chair before you? There's nothing for them to work with. Okay, why is that they still need to run out of this zone, and it's not an easy feat. Okay, now coincidentally, it is also at the trap area which I talked about just now. Okay, so if you're a kiter, as I said earlier, don't kite here. Okay, because if you get checked here, it's most of the time death. Okay, it will cost you your game. Mercenary will get double hit for sure, and you will be very easily down again. Okay, the other chair is here. I think it's around here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's just slightly less strong than the chair because there's a possible use of a pellet here. Okay, and if you stand there just now, then the mercenary, by the time you see, let's say example here, if I stand here, okay, but maybe by the time I saw the mercenary here, then it may be too late, but it's still not a bad thing. Okay, so once again, if you're a kiter, don't kite, don't kite here, and you really absolutely have no choice, don't get chat here, don't get chat at this chair. And there's another chair here too. Likewise, this one is also equally bad, though not as bad because it's slightly further out, in which that if the rescuer sometimes can get sneaky by this path. Okay. So if you're playing camper, this particular any chairs here, this is a very good spot because you'll be standing away from the chair. You won't be highlighted to the other survivors, and you can have unobstructed view of oncoming rescuers, which you can then hit them early and then go back to the chair. Okay, the other chair is this one. Here. This chair. This chair is also similarly, there's nothing to work with. Okay, this window is stupid. Well, sometimes, right, they get rescued, then they walk this window, then I can just bypass them here like this. It's a meaningless walk. Okay. On the other hand, they can attempt to come here and walk, in which it's also the counterplay is not very difficult, in which I can just walk over here. Okay. And also this chair faces away from the center and also near the edge of the map. But the thing is, for this particular chair, it's not so easy to get an unobstructed view because if stand here, then you see rescuer coming from factory side is can sneaky pass. Okay. And then if I stand here, then I also this view from shack corner is obstructed. Okay, so if you decide to camp, you can actually just face camp also, no problem one. No problem one. Okay, you can stand around here around here. That sometimes if you're able to catch a glimpse of the mercenary coming from here, it's still not too late for you to run back. Okay, somewhere around here will be 12 meter already, which is you won't be highlighted already. Okay, if you decide to camp, alright, this chair is good. And the other chair, okay, while I'm here, never mind, let's go. This chair also is one of my favorite chair. Okay, once again, there's nothing here. Okay, see, there's no pallet, there's nothing. Oh man, there's nothing. And most of the time, if you chair here, right, most of the time meaning these pallets already have been used, meaning that they have already exhausted these guide zones. So no problem, let them be lah. I know factory is a strong guide zone, but then the pallets have been used. No problem, you can chair here. Okay, this chair is very good. Then there's also this chair, not the best, but still okay. Okay, because there's no pallet, and these two windows are meaningless. Okay, if they rescue, then they walked. Okay, it's quite meaningless because if let's say you hit, right, example, you hit the rescuer, they rescued, and they walked. Okay, I just come here only. See, now they're trapped again. See it, they're trapped again. What they want to do is that they rescue. If they come to this pallet, then that's the difference. But it's quite unintuitive because it's behind. Most of the time, when they rescue, right? When they rescue, they will appear at the left of the chair. Okay, at the left of the chair, it's very unintuitive for them to run back here like that. Particularly more so if you're standing here. Okay, so most of the time they will walk, or run here. Which either way, you can just make their life miserable simply by stepping to the left or stepping to the right. You see or not? Okay, so this rocket chair is also very strong. Okay, so these are some of the rocket chairs that if you're able to chair, most of the time you can increase your win rate by quite significant. Your likelihood to win, not your win rate, sorry, your likelihood to win. Okay, now this next I'll talk on some of the chairs that is not so good. Depends. Okay, example, this chair. This chair is very difficult because there's a pallet here, existence of a pallet here. Now why? Example, right, even though you can get a good unobstructed view everywhere, okay, if let's say example, you saw the mercenary, he doesn't care, doesn't give a crap, elbow pad past you, okay, you hit, you're in attack recovery motion, he will come here, he can drop the pallet and then rescue. You are forced to either go around, which then you have obstructed view, or you break the pallet, which gives them extra time to run away. Okay, so this is the difference. This is the difference by this pallet alone. On the other hand, if this pallet has been broken, then this chair becomes very strong. Okay, because then you can guard it very easily. You can guard it very easily by standing here. You see, you can have clear view from almost everywhere. See? Okay, so this rocket chair depends. If the pallet has not been used, try not to. If it has been used, great, it becomes very good. Now the next rocket chair is here. Okay, this rocket chair, there's a pallet nearby. Like before, if it has not been used, then it's very dangerous. In which the rescued, they can straight away come here. Rescued will run past. Rescuer will drop the pallet for them. Okay, then will make your life miserable. But if the pallet has been broken, then this rocket chair becomes very good. Now another rocket chair which I don't like to chair, which is a 3 pallet. Okay, there's too many permutation and combinations of how the rescuer can screw me over. Okay, if I stand too far, I hit, attack recovery, drop the pallet, and they rescue. They can then drop either pallet, and they can just do whatever shenanigans they want inside. Okay, and furthermore, it's very obstructed view. If I stand here, I can't see from behind. If I stand here, I can't see the opposite side. Okay, so I'm not a fan for 3 pallet chair. Now this another chair is also very commonly used, which is here. This chair. This chair, I would say it's a 50-50. It gives you a very good view. Okay, it's not necessarily close to a pallet. Okay, and even then, this pallet is not very strong. Okay, if drop, why not strong is that you drop, right, is the next area that they can travel to, which is here, which is also not very good. Okay, they definitely cannot run to 3 pallet because it's too far, and they also very difficult to run back towards here. Okay, because it's parallel, directly parallel. Okay, so this rocket chair is also okay, not too bad. There's also sometimes another rocket chair around here. Yeah, here, and there's one here. This one is also very good. Okay, Once again, you see, absolutely nothing, barren. You can comfortably stand around here and see for a rescuer coming. Okay? Even if last minute, then you saw someone here. Okay, you can still walk back towards, no problem, comfortably, and get them. And even if, okay, by the time you look at you're at my this hunter position, and they're already here, they rescued. There's not much they can run to. They will, most of the time just run here, then you can cut them off again. Impossible for them to run towards the no man's land because it's far. Okay, so if you can see, right, for arms factory, most of the rocket chairs are very strong. And that's why I say, although it's heavily survival sided, but if you're able to capture and you're able to tie them to a strong rocket chair, you're very likely to win. Now, before I forget, let's go to the worst rocket chair. The worst rocket chair to tie to is here. Okay, although it's out in the open, okay, there's nothing. You want to guard also, it's quite easy. Okay, but the stupid thing is that the survivor can stand behind the chair and rescue. When they rescue, they will appear in front. When they after done rescuing, they will be behind. Okay, so this is a stupid thing about this chair. In which you have to guide how you want to decide to guard. Okay, if you hit preemptively, you might hit the chair. Okay, and then if you don't hit, they'll go back behind. While you're in your blade wipe animation, they can just rescue again. Okay, then they can doesn't matter where they run to. Okay, but it's a very tedious process. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I don't know whether they will fix this chair or not by putting more stuff at the back, but I don't know. And there's also this stupid thing right here. My god, this Forsaken red box, man. Likewise, it's also sometimes survivor also get caught here in which they get stuck here. But same for hunter lah, sometimes also happens. This is definitely the worst rocket chair to tie to. Okay, so I think that's about it for rocket chairs. Now I include this in my analysis, especially for arms factory, because for hunter this is a very important aspect that I felt is probably never talked about. Okay, I know it's very common that you down a survivor, you balloon, even though if let's say you view for shaking cipher, you would most of the time bring to the nearest rocket chair. Okay, now by if you are able to tell which is the best rocket chair and you can distance yourself, you can calculate your distance to chairing, right, it will increase your likelihood to win tremendously. Now how to know, because sometimes I also understand that you spend so much effort to down a survivor, you are afraid that the survivor may able to struggle out from balloon. There's a very easy way to count. Okay, because when you balloon the survivor, you will walk and then you will force to change direction, right? This is what I call struggle. Okay, you are allowed to have struggles five struggles plus just a little bit more before the survivor can escape. Okay, so example, if I down here, where are the viable rocket chairs? Okay, this is the nearest alternative, three pellet, or the better one would be inside here. Okay, you have to see. So if you balloon, okay, for me in this situation, I would chair here, no choice, because this one is too far. You definitely cannot reach here, and this one, if there's a survivor inside, they can drop the pellet on me and force a stun. Okay, for here I have no choice but to chair here. Okay, but sometimes if down here, okay, then I have a choice, I have an option to chair here or here. Okay, so I just need to walk, okay, change once, twice, 3, 4. Oh, then still can reach. Okay, most of the time hunter doesn't survivor don't bring wheel to survive lah. except for my teammate lah, Willie, who try his best to convince us to bring Will to survive, but I always say it's a scam. The debate still goes on forever. Okay, but most of the time you can safely chair within 5 struggles. Now, balloon struggle takes about 16 seconds. If you bring Will to survive, you can escape within I think 13 or 14 seconds. Okay, but sometimes it's a bit difficult to tell, right? But I find that the struggle method is most of the time works quite well. Okay, so 5 struggles, 5 struggles. Okay, lastly, one last note before I sign out for Hunter. When you sweep, right? When you sweep, example I want to use is this cipher. Once you locate, you isolate your tinnitus. Okay, example you know tinnitus trigger here. You know that there is a survivor here. Okay, there's a survivor decoding here. Now it's a very small difference, but it makes huge impact. Okay, so if you are sweeping from here, you know that you want to target this cipher. Okay, you sweep and you come from this direction. Okay, what this allows is that if I am the survivor, okay, I'm the survivor, I saw that the red light is coming from here, then I can just safely walk here. See the distance very close, and now I'm in a strong kite zone. However, if you are the hunter and you sweep from here instead, now you see or not, you cut off this line already. You cut off this line already. Okay, so if the survivor is here and saw you running here, right, it's asking for trouble if I still continue to run here. Okay, it's asking for trouble. It will then force the survivor to run behind here instead. Okay, and buy you some time to position yourself, to force them into making errors. Okay, and force them to run away from the strong kite zone. Okay, once again, you see it's a very small difference only. There's a rock, you either go left or go right. Just these two paths, just these two makes a lot of difference. So if you're playing hunter, you must know where are the strong ciphers, where are the weak ciphers, and where are the strong kite zones that your target will run to. You cut them off. Make them make into forced errors. Okay. So I think that's about it for map analysis this time. Oh my god, 12 o'clock, 1.5 hours, boys. Whew, almost lose my voice. Okay, so I hope you guys will benefit from it by the kite zones, the kiting line, the rocket chairs. I really hope you guys enjoy the series. I'll try to make again next week for another map. Most probably will be Sacred Heart Hospital. Okay, because these two maps is very similar, Arms Factory and Hospital, in which the strong kite zones are insanely strong, and the rocket chairs are also insanely strong. Okay, so let me just check the chat. If you aren't camping the chairs in the corner, yeah, that's the thing. Like Portal said, example, because I don't camp, alright, that's my identity. I would still chair them at the edge of the map because it gives them make the mercenary have to run extra long. Okay, so example, right, if it's in the middle here, mercenary is here, for them to reach the shack corner, it's still some distance. Compared to if I decide to chair them here, then it's very close. Okay, so sometimes this might make them unable to rescue before half. Okay, small difference, once again, small difference, big impact. Okay, for me, my style is that playing as hunter, I find all these small little changes, small little accumulative advantages that will build into a bigger advantage. Okay, that's my style of playing hunter. I very seldom make those like epic, amazing plays like blink strikes or whatever. I find those are high risk, high reward. For me, it's just always a low risk, high efficiency. That also explains why my playstyle sometimes a bit boring. I know I know I'm not the most fanciest or shiny kind of hunter player, but for me, it just works. It just works. Okay. Let me try to see can use a camera or not. Oh, yeah, I'm so tired now. Whew. Okay, that's about it for map analysis this time. I really hope you guys enjoy the series. Next one will be on Sacred Heart Hospital. Let me try to arrange my time. Okay, for those who are celebrating, once again, Happy Chinese New Year. Hope you guys have a prosperous year ahead. Okay, until then, I'll see you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoy playing Identity 5. Remember, it's just a game. Okay, I understand the community tends to be very toxic. Which game community is not toxic, right? All is toxic one. Okay, but just enjoy the game. Just remember to be human to each other. All right, I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.